Wagyu Gaming. Hey there, broskies. Hope you're having a wonderful day. So Wagyu here and back with another Kingdom of Heroes Tactics War video. So today we're going to be featuring a unit, one of my favorite units actually, and that is Apophis. He is a mage type dark unit, as you can see here on screen right now. So why is he pretty good? I'd say because of his skills. His kit is just perfect for the Rune Dungeon, and I'd say he's the king of the Rune Dungeon personally. So alongside this, he has the leader skill of increase all allies attack in a dungeon battle by 36%. And not only does he have an increased attack of all allies, he also has a defense break alongside a slow, and he also has a reduced action gauge. So if you've watched my previous videos, you would know that I am a very big fan of units that have reduced action gauge, okay? And alongside reduced speed, especially for the Rune Dungeon, it just makes things so much easier. You can nuke down the boss as fast as you can. If you have units that can reduce the action gauge, like for example a Beowulf, and reduces the action gauge of the enemy by 40%, the boss doesn't take a turn every now and then. So yeah, I'm a very big fan of units that have reduced speed and reduced action gauge. So let's go back to his leader skill. So let's be clear here, he isn't the exclusive unit. This leader skill isn't exclusive to this unit alone. Demeter also has a leader skill that increases attack by a lot, but however, Demeter is a healer, and Apophis is more of an offensive type unit that has the increased attack. So his kit synergizes pretty well for his leader skill. That's why I call him the king of the Rune Dungeon. Okay, going back to his third skill, and this is the other reason why Apophis is pretty good. So this is a skill that reduces cooldown. Reduces speed and defense, and only has a 4-turn cooldown, and the effect lasts for 3 turns. So basically, like, you only have 1 turn that the enemy doesn't get reduced speed with. Okay, but do take note that his first skill also has a reduced speed. So basically, there is no turn that your enemy doesn't have a reduced speed on him. Okay, alongside this, he has a reduced action gauge in his second skill if the enemy has a speed debuff on it, and not just one enemy but the whole team gets reduced action gauge by 15%. Okay, so that's pretty OP. As you can see, I'm trying to max his skills out, and I am planning to max his skills out. Let's see if I do have a skill fairy. Okay, I don't have a skill fairy as of now. So yeah, personally I built him up on Swift Energy, as I felt like if I took him to the Rune Dungeons, he would be off. He wouldn't have element advantage since he is a dark unit, and the bosses for Fafnir B11 is water type, and for Sealed Armory B11 is fire type. So he has a neutral element on them, so he doesn't really get glancing hits that often, so he needs to have a higher HP. So these are my Apophis stats. As you can see here, he has pretty decent HP of almost 4,500 and an attack of 1,370. So he has a defense of 949 and a speed of 194 and accuracy of only 54%. So I'm building him up as a debuffer and not as my main damager, as I do have my Esperanza and Apollyon for that, and another unit and a third unit as my damager, fourth unit technically as my damager for different elements for Fafnir and Sealed Armory. Okay, so if I were to improve something on my Apophis, I'd say I'd improve his speed up to 220 and his accuracy up to 75% to land his debuffs more often. Okay, so as I mentioned, I call him the king of the Rune Dungeon, and here's the reason why. Let me show you guys my stats in my guild. By the way, if you guys want to jump in, this is my guild right now. It's called Mu Empire, so don't hesitate to jump in. We do have 8 slots left, so just a shameless plug. So let me show you guys my Apophis right here. So how I use him. So personally, I use him in the Rune Dungeon a lot. Like, he is the main unit that I have here. As you can see, for my Fafnir's Nest, he is the lead unit. And that's because I need higher attack for Fafnir's Nest, as I try to nuke them down as fast as I can. So for my Sealed Armory, I use him as my debuffer, as you can see here, because I need more speed, so that's why I use Apollyon as my lead. So basically, as you can see here, both my teams are the same. However, if I use this team in my Fafnir's Nest, this team only has around an 80% success rate. So I prefer to use Ingwe over Frid here, okay? So anyway, without further ado, let me show you guys a few runs. One run for each Sealed Armory and alongside Fafnir to showcase Apophis better. Okay, so let's start first with Sealed Armory, since this is where a lot of us will be in right now if you're interested in these kinds of videos. So the perfect energy, like 18. So anyway, let's do one run. So right now, just a bit of update, my success rate for Sealed Armory is already around, I'd say like around 80 to 85%. 90 even if I may say, but you know, every now and then I fail, like like next to each other, like yeah. So Apophis is here right now, so very useful that I have Apollyon that increases crit and damage and speed and mobility, I mean. So this is Frid, one of the better 5-star units.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So by the way, the only issue I have with autoing a lot of these stages is that the AIs of these units aren't really good. They're pretty bad, so if there was an improvement on these, I think I'd say that I would have a better chance of clearing these dungeons more successfully. But as of now, you know, it's what we have, and if you want to autoplay, that's part of the convenience. There must be some sacrifices. So I just hope we can nuke down the boss as fast as we can. Okay, so Apophis just, yeah, he didn't use his skill. Oh my gosh, that is so annoying. And Esperanza too, they're not doing their skills, they're just waiting for the boss to kill them off. So the technique for Sealed Armory is to nuke down the boss as fast as you can, since he uses the ultimate skill that he has, like this one, Energy Blast, which kills majority of your team in one hit. Hopefully, yes, okay, that's pretty good. Esperanza doing his skill, her skill, I mean. Okay, so we reduced the action gauge of the whole enemy team with Apophis, as you saw right there. So yeah, it's pretty good. As you can see, the boss isn't taking a turn. Lots of action gauge reduction with my team, and Apophis is one of those units that actually has that. Apophis almost died. So yeah, as you saw, Apophis is really useful here in the Sealed Armory. So I won't be featuring him in PvP as I'm only in Silver right now. I haven't really been doing my PvP. But yeah. So let's try him out in Fafnir's Nest next. So you guys get to see him, that he's effective in both areas. So for Fafnir's Nest, I use him as my lead since I don't need that much speed here, since the boss isn't really that fast, only has a mobility of 160, I mean a speed of 163. So anyway, let's go. Let me show you guys Apophis. So as I was mentioning, I wouldn't be featuring Apophis on PvP since I'm actually not really that into PvP. I only do PvP to farm out the points since I need them to buy some stuff in the store. So yeah, Apophis has a slow in his first skill, as you saw there. So that is really useful. I'd say one of the best first skills in the game. I mean, having slow in your first skill just makes things so much easier. Especially with his accuracy, like it actually lands pretty often. So yeah, considering that he has a 36% leader skill, damage increase, and if my Esperanza had around 2000 attack, that makes her attack around 2720, and that is pretty OP. That's almost 3k attack. I haven't seen any unit with 3k attack. So his leader skill is actually really useful for hard-hitting units like Esperanza, among other units like Ifrit, Frid even. So do let me know in the comment section below if you guys want to see Frid featured in this channel as well. Actually, Frid is really a really good unit, and people are missing out a lot if they don't like Frid. So I'd say I'd like to feature Frid in a future video, but yeah, up to you guys. Do let me know in the comment section below if you're interested to see that video. I'd gladly do one. I don't want to feature units that aren't really 6 stars, since you can't really see their true potential unless it's Thea. So Thea, if you haven't heard of Thea, she is the queen of Toa, and she's useful even only at 4 star. So yeah, as you see, the boss almost doesn't take a turn with the slow and the action gauge reduction that both Apophis and Apollyon actually brings to the table. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you found it interesting, do leave a like. So I'd say that Apophis is worth the 6 star. He's actually one of the best units for Rune Dungeon, as I've mentioned. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and see you in the next one.